Why do we have to keep talking about this? Because this is actually ridiculously both funny to me, but it's actually insane if you're a collector. If you're a big fan of Pokemon and you're trying to collect cards, what how? Like in this moment, like how? Like, and a lot of people are like, well, just buy Japanese because like that's really your only option. But even then, if you really look at it, it's like $30 over what the lowest point it ever was in, and it's just ridiculous. This has been out for a while now. Like Terrestrial Festival, like it's not something that's new or that you can pre-order. So this is something that you could have bought a while ago, and like it's just coming back up in price. All of that is because of this card. Wait, no, not this card. This card. So what I think a lot of people are not acknowledging is that because the Umbreon VMAX is now $1,449, not even graded, as long as it's a near mint, terrible centering and whatnot, you can pay $1,449 for this card right now. That's the reason this Umbreon card is now gonna go up in price. This is the Japanese version and it is 319. In Japanese, this card, this is the Umbreon VMAX, but this is in Japanese, 1,760. This is really hard to really gauge it in that manner, simply because it hasn't been sold at that price. So I really wouldn't say that that's how much it is, but this is how much people are perceiving a general idea of big questioning idea of this. On the other hand, this card is being sold. 6 sells, 4 sells, from in these recent weeks. This is selling. But because this Pokemon is now becoming popular, this Umbreon is being notably popular, right? It doesn't change the fact that it was popular before. Now the Umbreon 20 EX 2017 187, this Japanese card is going up in price, but the reality is that these pre-orders are really trying to get this one card in English. It might be $500 more, it might be $1,000 more, over 319 as to what it is in Japanese. Right now it is going down, but that's kind of hard to gauge it based off of what it could be. And that's what's really interesting at how chaotic all of this really is, because this box is not big. This box confirms you. I'm not sure if it's a secret rare, but I know the Japanese card confirms you something of value in it. On the other hand, the Prismatic Evolutions does not confirm you anything. And it's only 9, guys. Like, it is so crazy. Like, there's not even like a real idea as to why people are paying this much for it, but it is indeed selling. 337 items sold. 337 people bought this, either relisted it or did something of the sort. A lot of these transactions could possibly be that the stock market is just trading, selling, trading, selling, trading, selling. What's really interesting is that, think about it like this. I have this pen. This pen is $5. I will pay you $5 for it. I get the pen. Now I say, okay, this pen is now worth $7. Hey, I'll buy you that pen that I sold you for $5 for $7, and then it keeps happening. These pre-orders keep shifting from hand to hand and to hand to hand. So it's not necessarily that this value is now there, or this is what it really is between the collectors, but it's between the people that are trying to make a buck out of it from these pre-orders. Consider that these have not been necessarily traded. So the fact that this is 337 cells also makes me very hesitant. How is it possible that the cell amount is going up in this sense? It's not necessarily that people are manufacturing this market. I think that value is accurate because there has to be enough people, including collectors, of course. Collectors have to be participating in this as well. And those people that are trying to make a buck off of it are speculating and saying, oh, the collector is going to pay this much for it. Oh, the collector is going to pay this much for it. So the price keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And I think that's why this keeps happening. And I truly, truly, truly believe that a lot of these pre-orders are being traded in hands the same way that you would trade stocks. You know, you buy a stock, you sell a stock, you buy a stock, and it could be trading hands with the same people back and forth, back and forth. And that's a very possible thing that could be happening. But of course, you can imagine now, instead of just being traded between those two people, that it could be traded between five, and it becomes more realistic, and then traded between 10, and that becomes more realistic. It is a very possible thing that could be happening as to why this valuation is going up as much as it is. Now, because TCG Player is able to have a pricing like this right here, I'm pointing at the screen because it's just absurd. Because of that price, because of TCG Player, now local card shops do not want to run the risk. They will not be selling Prismatic Evolutions at release. They just don't care to. They don't want to play in the speculation aspect of it. These are crazy, crazy speculations that a lot of card shops, LGSs, just do not want to participate in. Why would you want to? Like, people are going to be running through the door. People are going to break your door, you know, and that's what some people in this Reddit comment were willing to even say. And people are blaming the investors, or rather the middle-aged sociopaths buying pallets of cards just to dump most of them so they can find a new cards to treat like a 401k. A lot of them don't even give a shit about Pokemon, just the profit the cards bring them. Another one went ahead and said, figured I would just clear the air for all the people commenting on this. I live near this particular shop. I have talked with the owners on several occasions about Pokemon cards. People are crazy. She is not hiding them for personal use or reselling them. She is genuinely concerned for the safety of her small business and has been broken into 3 times within the past 6 years. And when they have only taken Pokemon cards, I understand that you all might be thinking that most stores that say they don't have the new set might be doing something fishy with the cards, but I can assure you that this shop is not. I'm sure she would appreciate not having comments of accusing the shop of doing something weird with them. Guys, this is a speculative pricing. The pricing isn't concrete. It's similar to how Surging Sparks went up a lot in price. This is really interesting from a business perspective because it's really fascinating to see how these prices are going up. But the reality of it is, at the end of the day, no matter what you might say of how little value it has, of how pointless it all is, at the end of the day, but people are going to do what my brain is going to do, what your brain is going to do, what our monkey brains is going to do, is we're going to look at this number. It's going to say 148, and your monkey brain is going to say, wait, the real price is $49. I'm going to go buy this for MSRP. I will fight people for this. I am going to make $100 by selling this. And that's why scalpers are becoming as prevalent as it is. And I don't want to say TCG Player is making this more prevalent. I don't think it's necessarily their fault. It's like saying social media is evil, but at the end of the day, it's us as humans, and it's us as our own actions of creating things that are complicated for no reason. You know, the reason that we have recessions isn't because everything is falling apart necessarily sometimes, but sometimes recessions happening because human nature and the unpredictability of us as humans. We can assume that, oh, everything's going to go down in price, so then we save our money and then we cause a recession. So that's what's really interesting, that these prices, right, is also humanly made, because we are assuming and we are creating this idea of what this value is. So it's really complicated to say what it is for people to do. Some people say skip the set. Some people say don't pay the scalpers. At the end of the day, I'm not going to get into your wallet and say, this is what you should do with your money. Go put this in the S&P 500 or whatnot. It's really complicated. Do whatever you want. At the end of the day, do whatever you want. But obviously, honestly, please do not show up on January the 17th and fight for this. Please do not make someone's life difficult at Target, at Walmart, at GameStop. Do not make their life hard, man. Like, do not push, shove, threaten people. if you show up on January 17th and you're like, hey, I'm just a chill guy, I just want to grab a box, try your best. But don't be that person. Don't push, shove. Like we're so close to the release of this, but it's a constant talk. We're going to keep talking about this. If this price goes up by the time I release this, if this price goes up by the time you see this, I wouldn't be surprised. And why would we not be surprised if this goes up even after its release? Is simply because a lot of the orders will not have been fulfilled, or this Umbreon card. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. This card, this Pokemon value card, is gonna go up beyond anything that you've ever seen, and that is why, like, for example, that VMAX is as valuable as it is, and I do not doubt that other cards would gain as much value or more value because of it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment.